Good morning, everybody. Pause. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell, where we are coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential. If you are new, thank you for checking us out. Whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you're tuning in, just like to say thank you for whatever brought you to the podcast this morning. Just like to say thank you. I hope it's encouraging, because here at the podcast, we're all about coming together one Monday at a time. Each and every Monday, we come out with a new episode. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow button, wherever you're on. You'll get notification each and every Monday when we come out with a new episode. Monday Motivation, that's what it's all about. Monday Motivation Podcast, one Monday time to reach our full potential. Each and every one of us has a purpose, has a calling in life that's fueled by passions, by desires. And our decisions we make can be and should be based and driven towards that purpose and that calling in our life. So we use that to help, create some motivation for our Mondays, to help us get on track, to help us hopefully get closer to our calling, further into our purpose. Because at the Monday Motivation Podcast, we're all about turning our Mondays into something that may be tough, may be rough, flipping them around and making them one of the best days possible of our week, and starting off our week the best way possible. So that being said, let's get into this week's episode of the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. Again, we are coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential. Good morning again, everybody. Welcome again to the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. I'm your host, Keegan Jewell. Again, if this is your first time tuning in, just like to say again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for checking us out. And what a great one to start. What a great one to come in on. First off, I would really like to start this episode off by giving a shout out to Joey McKernan. He's been on the podcast before multiple times. One of our first episodes was him talking about, dreaming big and all that, what that can bring and what that entails. But then I think it was about a month and a half ago, we had him on the podcast, on this episode, another episode again, I had an interview with him where he talked about his new book that was coming out at the time. And I would like to say it has come out. It is Discover Your Purpose by Joey McKernan. Make sure you go and check it out. Go buy it. It really fits with what we are talking about here on the podcast. Discovering your purpose. And he's got some great things to say. I know I'm excited to dive into that book and read it. Pull things from it. It's going to be great. So again, shout out to Joey. And again, he's been on here before, and I'd always want to give shout outs when where credit's due. So great job, dude. Great job, man. Love seeing the book come out. I really hope it does do well, and I can't wait to get into it. So that being said, again, great job, Joey. This week's episode is one that, if you're seeing the title, once you've seen the title, you may be a little confused. It's called Stay in Your Lane, and if you're like me, you've maybe only heard that phrase only kind of in, I don't want to say negative way, but, people kind of going back and forth, and, you start accusing someone, and they're like, whoa, dude, like, stay in your lane, or like, people feel like if you're going out of your way to bring, adversity or whatever it is towards them, they're like, bro, stay in your lane. Like, what are you doing? But this week we're talking about it in a sense of each of us. As I've thought about it too, and getting ready to talk, planned on, talking about it and what to say on this topic, realized that I don't know what it is, but lately I've definitely seems like we're getting drawn to topics that can be, I guess, in a way, reference to driving. A couple weeks ago, we had the take a left turn. And again, this week it's stay in your lane. But exactly that, stay in your lane. Each of us have a purpose, have a unique purpose, have a unique calling for our lives. And it's what I've got, what I'm called to do, the purpose for my life, what I am called to do and going to do and have passions for in life are different than, even, my best friend, those around me. And so what that means is I can't and I shouldn't try and take, what I'm doing and try and go and do what I see someone else doing. In the sense of my purpose and calling. If that's what I'm supposed to be doing and it happens to be the same as someone else, go for it. Like tag team it, go together, use that resource, whatever way possible. But at the same time, you've got to do you. We've heard the phrase before, you do you. Stay in your lane. And so when it comes down to it, one, it's a matter of we can't compare to other people. When we compare to other people, we've heard it best. Comparison kills. When we compare to other people, we're going to get let down, or, we may be feeling like we are better than them. And then we go and compare to someone else and then just get knocked down again. Just focus on what you've got. Focus on what's for you. Focus on your passions, focus on your purpose, focus on your calling, and stay in your lane and do you. Work on building your goals and accomplishing your dreams and your goals. Because if you start veering off and trying to do what others are going, you very well could end up in the wrong place. Your lane, maybe it's, you think that, oh, I'm in my lane now, but if I go over to their lane, it's a straight road. It's taking me the same way. Well, what happens when all of a sudden you get a spot where you have to stay there, and all of a sudden there's a fork in the road and it's drifting you away from your purpose and calling? Then you're stuck. You're not stuck, but you're in trouble. You're so far down this path and so far down this road, and all of a sudden you look and you've been on this fork in the road and you're so far from what your purpose and your calling was. Stay in your lane. Even if it feels lonely, know that as you continue down that road, continue down that path, we talked about it before, there's going to be people that are going to come alongside of you, people that may not have the same purpose or calling as you, but as you go down that part, your lane is going to merge with theirs, in the sense that they're going to be there to support you and be there for you and encourage you and build you up, and you can do the same to them. But if you're not going to stay, if you're going to be focused on what others are doing and try and mold your life to other people's, it's not going to work, because what's meant for me probably isn't meant for you, and what's meant for you probably isn't meant for me. So what that means is I've got my lane. I've got to stay in my lane. I've got to focus on what I've got to focus on. And you've got to focus on what you've got to focus on, your passions, your purpose, your calling. And I'll focus on mine. Maybe they'll end up meeting at some point, maybe not, but that's okay if they don't. We have to be willing to be taken to a place of the unknown. And I think that sometimes can be the issue, is many times, I don't think I've ever seen anyone try and go and be like, oh, I'm gonna try and switch up and change to do what they're doing, when there's not success involved. People, we always see the success. You see some public speaker, you see this person that's been at it for years, been at it for a while, and we see the success they have, and we're like, oh, that's awesome, that's cool, I'm gonna go do that too. But we don't realize the time and the effort and the years they put into it. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh shoot, this is more than I thought. I don't know if I want this. We don't really necessarily ever compare and say, I want to do that, when someone's still in the nitty gritty of it. You may be in the nitty gritty of your purpose, your calling. You've got to be willing to get through that, fight through that, continue on, push through. And again, that comes to having people around you that's going to help with that. But by staying in your lane, it's going to be so worth it in the end. The destination will be so much better when it's meant for you than if it was meant for someone else. If there's someone, I think of, a road trip. If I'm supposed to head to the East Coast and I start going and I go, it's all right, and I start seeing someone head the opposite direction, I go, ooh, that looks like a fun direction to head, and I start heading the opposite way, I'm going to be disappointed and frustrated and upset when I all of a sudden I'm at the West Coast and I'm like, wait, I was supposed to be at the East Coast. But it's because I didn't stay focused on my destination, where I'm headed. Because to stay in your lane, you've got to know that. So, I mean, really, that's got to be step one. That's really got to be step one, is if you're going to stay in your lane, you've got to know where your lane's headed. You have to have a plan, a game plan, a roadmap, a destination of, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to get to. And then hop in that lane, see what it's going to take to be in that lane, and go for it. Because, again, if you don't know your destination, you're just going to keep on driving. You're going to get distracted. You're going to take detour. We'll be willing to take detours, hop off here and there, and I'll go ahead and take this way. Try this way out for a while. Try that way out for a while. But in the end, you've got to see and go, okay, you know what? This is my destination, and this is the best way possible. Because again, using the example I just used, if I'm going to the East Coast, it wouldn't make sense for me to go west for a couple hours and then go, circle back a long way and go east. Best way is as straight a shot as I can get going to the East Coast. So stay in your lane. Be willing to, maybe have to deal with the traffic jam here and there. Take the slow traffic, have to go, and it may take a while again, but even in that, be willing to stay in your lane and keep pushing on towards that. It'll all be worth it, I promise. Find that destination, find the best way towards it, hop in that lane, stay there, and stay focused on that goal and those dreams. So as we close out this morning, today, this Monday morning, whenever you're listening, again, I just want to say big shout out to Joey McKernan. Go show him some love, and go show him some love and buy that book, Discover Your Purpose by Joey McKernan, on Amazon. And again, congrats, Joey. It's great to see someone on the podcast doing those things and succeeding and making it happen. So great job, man. Love you. And it's been another episode of the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell. Again, thank you guys for tuning in this week. Please, I'd love to see you guys come back next week and tune in for another episode. Because again, the Monday Motivation Podcast with Keegan Jewell, we are all about coming together one Monday at a time to reach our full potential. This is it for this Monday. Hope to catch you guys next Monday. Until then, peace out.